It's hard creating good quality content. It's time consuming and can even be expensive. That's why I can't bear to create content and just let it sit there. I want to literally get every single possibility of getting eyeballs to the content I create. I'm going to show you in this video how I take one piece of content and I distribute it across multiple channels in multiple forms. First, subscribe to the channel to stay up to speed with content marketing strategies. Hey everyone, I'm Neil Sheth, helping businesses get seen online. Do you currently distribute your content? Add yes or no in the comments below. At the beginning of this chart, I published a post on my blog, YourBrandFound.com, and as you can see, no one saw it. But it all changed when I decided to give the post a bit of a push by promoting and distributing it online. Just look what happened. I went from no one reading it to more than 200 readers in 10 days. That's why I believe in spending at least the exact amount of time, if not more, in distributing content online. And I'm going to walk you through my current distribution strategy in this video. First, let me say something that's going to make me sound smart. All content should be great, but not all great content needs to be distributed. For instance, I'm not going to put in as much effort in promoting a small FAQ-based piece of content versus a longer form of a how-to or an opinion piece. The longer I tend to spend on content, the more I'll put behind the distribution. Okay, let's assume you've found your topic and you've created a remarkable piece of content around it. In my example, you can see I chose to create a video which is all about my very detailed process around designing and developing a site with SEO in mind. So what we've got here is a core piece of content in the middle, which is a YouTube video. And in this example, as you can see, it's a video about how to design your website and build it from scratch with SEO, with search in mind, so that you're building your site with a view that that new site that you launch actually just doesn't look great, but performs amazingly in search, i.e. in search engines like Google. So that when a customer or a prospect customer is searching for a product or service related to your business, then your website is right in front of them. So what I did is I created this video which is roughly about 20 minutes long, and you can find it on YouTube under my channel YourBrandFound, and it's called Website Design SEO and then steps to designing a website for search. So as you can see, I then looked at the distribution across a number of different channels, different formats, with the very idea and ambition of getting this content in the hands of as many people as possible, and in front of as many audiences as possible. And so just starting from top left and going round, Twitter is an amazing audience. It's actually a channel that I've grown to love only very recently. And I can see from the stats, whilst I don't have a large following, I think it's just roughly 1,000, I do get views on my profiles and I do get clicks. And actually this video alone, when I promoted this, I recall actually seeing an uptick in the views that I got just from the Twitter audience. So with Twitter, make it engaging. I chose to go with, the image and then just with a link to the video, and then also just talking about what this video is about and how I lost £20,000, and it led me to this approach with designing a site from scratch. So I've kind of made it interesting with a slight clickbaity title, but one of the feedback responses I got from someone was it lived up to what I was expecting, because I go into a lot of depth, and that's really important when you're thinking about a core piece of content that you want to promote. It has to be worthy of promotion, right? So going back to the top left, then moving to the right, Facebook post, again, create a piece of micro copy for Facebook. I've gone for slightly longer, a bit more detail on the description of what it is I'm going to show them. And then I've given, a relevant image that fits within the dimensions of Facebook. I then moved on to, Medium, which is a channel and a platform and an audience in itself. It takes you literally a minute or two to repost an article or post a video on there. So why not? If it can get me even one extra person, great. And then, on my agency side, on the Bubble side, it's very relevant to our customers that we help either design and build their site from scratch and do it from a search point of view. So I know this is highly relevant for them. So what we had is someone in our team who basically rewrote this post as a blog post for Bubble and as a mini blog post so that we could publish it on the Bubble blog as well as a relevant image to go with it. And then we publish it on there. And then on my own personal channel, which is YourBrandFound.com, I then asked, someone in my team who then wrote up a blog version of the video, because I know people like content. Some people prefer to read as opposed to watching a video, so they can follow along and highlight, etc. And also Google loves content, right? Google loves written word. So this is a way to maximize search engines in YouTube as well as search engines in Google and other search engines by offering the content in different formats. And as you can see from the top right, the really long post under YBF, Your Brand Found SEO blog, you can see it's very detailed. And like I said, it's a 20-minute video, so it's never going to be a small blog. But you can see the amount of detail there is there. And that just, for this topic, for someone that's looking for some advice, that piece of content should really nail it for them. Moving around, we've got the LinkedIn post. Again, a quick video, quick link on LinkedIn, just to get it out there to my audience. I've got a pretty substantial audience there, so it just makes sense. The thing about LinkedIn, I've been testing this. You can do, as you can see on the left-hand side, a LinkedIn article as well as a post, and as you can see on the bottom, that says LinkedIn post. That's actually an email, and that was an email to a prospect customer who was looking for help to migrate their site over and was asking about migrating the site over and maximizing their opportunity to improve their organic presence. And so I wrote this email saying, hey, yes, we could help. We do this all the time, which is basically what we do a lot of the times, is helping sites redesign their site and redevelop their site with search in mind and SEO in mind. And then I said, hey, because I get this question asked so many times, I put a video together, and it's it should hopefully answer your question, and most importantly describe the process that we follow. So I sent that across to him, and on the back of this email, it pretty much answered all of their questions. And when we got on the call, it was a pretty straightforward call, not going into the nitty gritty of how we do things and why, because I've explained that in the video. So it's not only increasing the conversions of people who are inquiring and contacting us and want us to help them on the service side of the business Bubble, but it's also helping to speed our conversations up and make that sale quicker. So this is why I love authoritative content, is because it allows you to do that. And this is almost like my secret. It's not really a secret, but the reason I go all out with content and share it widely, and I don't tend to hold back, is because I justify the need for me to create that content because of the bottom example of the email, where I'm sharing it with prospect customers who are interested in potentially working with me and the team, and at the same time they're comparing Bubble, our team, to other agencies. So, and this type of content really just differentiates the two, and that's why I love to do it. So the fact, actually, if you ignore everything around this box and just focus on, and apologies, it says LinkedIn post, this is actually an email and it should just say email. But if I was able to create content that I can share with prospect customers, that in itself is a good enough justification for creating the piece of content, because I share it and because it increases my conversions, it saves me time, it quickens the sales cycle, it shows my authority, gives me credibility. Those 5 things are, good enough reasons, if very good reasons, in fact, to creating the piece of content. Now, the fact other people might end up finding this piece of content because I'm now distributing it online and different channels and different formats, I treat it as a bonus, and that's why I'm never disappointed whether a piece of content gets 1,000 views or 10 views, because I know I'm still going to share it with a prospect customer, or I'm still going to share it with someone that asks me the same question over and over again. So yeah, moving on to the left, we've got LinkedIn article. Like I said, you could do a LinkedIn post or a LinkedIn article. I've tried both. LinkedIn articles really limited as of the time shooting this video. LinkedIn post, LinkedIn generally and other platforms generally don't want to promote another channel like YouTube. So I've tried also posting on LinkedIn as a post without the link in the main description, and then within the comments I'll put the full video. And I've seen that work, and then I've not seen that work, and sometimes I've just posted as a LinkedIn post and it seems to be doing well. So I would say, look, don't overthink it. Go with your gut feeling. For now, if I'm going to post something on LinkedIn, I would just post it straight with a link, with a YouTube link, so people see it directly, and in the notifications they're going to see that I posted something. So I just want to get them to the YouTube video if that's of interest, but we'll see if that changes anytime soon. Instagram, what I tend to do is on my phone I'll do a screenshot of my YouTube channel, and then I'll post that screenshot on my Instagram stories to say new video alert, link to video in bio, go check it out. And then what I also do is I get our designer to redesign the image so that it's a square and it looks great on an Instagram bio as a post, and then I will post that screenshot. I haven't as yet posted the video itself or a clip of the video, and I'm very likely to do that because I think that's going to be a lot more engaging. Maybe give them the first 10 seconds and then go check out the rest of the video. Although I am also debating whether to actually just post the entire video and it ends up appearing as IGTV, because ultimately whether they see the piece of content on YouTube or whether it's on IGTV, I don't actually care. I'd rather just get more people to view it and go check out my site if they're, if they're interested in, I guess training or us doing it for them via Bubble. So that's, in summary, what my content distribution organic strategy looks like. It's basically a combination of resizing images, getting new images designed, doing micro copy that is native and is relevant to the channel that you're posting it on, and then just with very low expectations, just seeing what happens. And then most importantly is any customer or any potential customer who is interested in working with you, send them the video on email and, give them some guidance and then go, hey, check out this video. It's probably going to answer the question or future questions that you may have. Let me know when you've seen it and we can jump on a call. And that conversation's a lot smoother and just a lot quicker from every side of the universe. A lot of the time I like to market before I create. I start thinking about the types of people and groups that would appreciate the particular type of piece I'm creating. And there are no rules on how many places you distribute your content. To start, it could be in a handful of places that work really, really well for you to begin with. And there are no rules on how many places you can distribute your content. To start, it could just be a handful of places that just work really, really well for you. Hope you found this useful. Subscribe to the channel to keep getting more tips on growing your business online.